Hi there, Bill Hitchcock. Welcome to the program. We got a great one to get out to you. Lots of things have been going on. Lots of things have shifted up. We've got a hurricane season update to get to you. We've got Big Tarpon and Big Drum in the Pamlico. We got some exciting information about that. Also, huge Pompano have returned. I mean, we're talking 5-pound plus Pompano have returned. And also the king mackerel catches along the piers, particularly in the southern piers from Bogue Inlet down on south. King mackerel catches have been fantastic. We got some that are relatively big, and we'll talk about that. But first off, let's talk about this. This comes from Colorado State University. They've been doing hurricane forecasting for over 40 years, and they are the go-to source for this type of thing. And they have an update, their hurricane season update. They say, we have decreased our forecast slightly, and the primary reason for the decrease is both observed and predicted high levels of Caribbean shear. High levels of Caribbean shears in June and July is indicative of a lesser season. So what does that mean in practical terms? Well, in April, they predicted there was going to be 9 hurricanes, named hurricanes, and now they're saying there's going to be 8. They're going to come out with another update in August. We will fill you in with that as we get back into the studio. As you can tell, we ain't there right now. Now, something very fascinating, the beach water temperatures. I want to show you something for the first time this year. Look at this. Beach water temperatures all up and down the coast of North Carolina, from Duck all the way down to Wilmington, 81 to 83 degrees. Again, that's the first time this year. You may recall it was just last week, Duck had beach water temperatures in the upper 60s. Now look at that. We're all 81, 83 degrees. So does that affect fishing? Yes, it does. Also, I wanted to bring up that, I've been talking about this for a while, that the weather along the coast of North Carolina during the summertime, particularly here in July and going into August, going into September, in the afternoon, you're almost guaranteed a thunderstorm. They are spotty. Take a look at this. I just recorded this off of my phone from the National Weather Service radar 2 days ago. That's around 4 in the afternoon. You see those thunderbolts and lightning clouds. They just popped up. They were there for a short while and they popped away. So, and that's just typical. And you will hear during the fishing report, which we're getting ready to do, that there's going to be a reference of bad weather. We dodged it. The weatherman was wrong again, blah, blah, blah. It's just that time of year. Just be prepared for it. All right, the fishing report. Chase Barnard, I love this. He's smiling. He certainly is. I got to get my glasses on, folks. He said, left the ruler at home, used the cart, but it only goes up to 30 inches. I guess 34 inches. He caught it at Duck. It's a red drum. He said it ate a sand flea. All right, the Nag's Head Pier, he says, they say the Spanish have shown up, and it's a large class of fish. We have everything you need to catch dinner. Spot bite is on afternoon, 5 minutes of fishing. That's what they're showing with the spot catches there. Rigged up charters out of Nag's Head. Donald and his family had a fun day. Few nice yellowfin, 1 mahi, and released a blue marlin. Now, Outcast fishing charters out of Juan Cheese. I'm going to be staring at I don't have a teleprompter. I'm out of the studio, so just bear with me, folks. It said, Outcast Fishing Charter says, took a little bit, but found them, then ran out of bait. Definitely plenty for dinner, though. Pretty work crew. Look at those speckled trout. And again, they were dodging raindrops and thunderbolts and lightning. A viewer submission. Now, he's a regular, Clay McPherson. Keeps wanting to say McPherson. He says, my daughter Anna and myself sat out for an evening trip and landed this 47+ inch bull drum, and she landed a nice speckled trout. Stingrays and bluefish were also caught and released. He fishes the Oregon Inlet area backside. You may recall it was about a week or so ago, he released some big mamma jamma drum somewhere around 50 inches, and he was only fishing in 1.5 feet of water. So pay attention to those little things when these guys make comment. Out of Hatters, Carolina girl said, started off strong with a limit of mahi, then went on to start catching tuna. Unfortunately, the seas got too much for them, and we were heading home by 10:30 in the morning with a nice catch. A couple of things. Did you see all those fish for 10:30 in the morning? I would say that was a pretty successful trip. But again, it's a weather-related thing. We had 2 or 3 days with the winds out of the north-northeast. The temperatures dropped, but it created an interesting situation, shall we say. All right, keep going on down here. Done deal sport fishing. Some hungry fish today, mahi, tuna, and a couple of wahoo for the meat slam. Spectacular. I know this guy. I know I do. But anyway, he says we had a mixed bag of bluefish, Spanish mackerel, specks, and puppy drum. So this happened to be one of those days where we lost more bluefish than we landed. And that happens a lot with fish like bluefish for a variety of reasons. One, they're like piranha. They're attack fish, and they'll bump and hit things, and you might not necessarily get a chance to set a good hook. But it is indicative of bluefish. Now, red drum bait and tackle, which is in Buxton, North Carolina, they're more known for their surf fishing. But they say Bobby put his friends Lindsay and Trevor on a nice 43-inch red drum in the Pamlico Sound. Now, trade winds. I love trade winds, bait and tackle. Listen to this, where they were catching the big pompano out of the surf. Well, it's not out of the surf, but these are big pompano. They say Jesse Goins and Roger Curtis both landed these extraordinary pompano from a private boat in the Sound off of Ocracoke Island. Again, the Sound is Pamlico Sound. 4.3 pounds and 5.3 pounds. You may recall they were really big pompano being caught from Ocracoke on up to Hatteras. Up to about a month ago, a couple of weeks ago, I said, hey, what happened? They disappeared. And about a week after that, in the last show, they started catching them. And again, the great pompano catches are continuing up there in the Ocracoke area and also hearing about in the Hatteras area. Now, this is what I wanted to show you. WITN TV7 out of Little Washington, North Carolina. They report Todd Coltrane of Pinetown is WITN's Catch of the Week contest winner after a 5+ hour fight. He released this 78-inch, 170-pound tarpon on, guess where? The Pamlico. They safely released it. So a 5-hour plus fight. They say it's 170 pounds and 78 inches. Let's move forward. Viewer's submission from Mike. He says, hey, Bill, enjoy your YouTube channel. I caught this 33-inch drum Tuesday morning, July 22nd, while trout fishing near Minnesota Beach. Caught him on 8-pound test and the Z-Man. People have been responding to my request to neat stuff from the Neuse River, Pamlico Sound area. So congratulations to you, Mike. Chasing Tails on Atlantic Beach. They say today's group caught red drum, black drum, flounder, and bluefish. Shop captains Hunter Bolton, James Nick Nance, Daniel Griffey, and William Gilligan, and Rick Patterson enjoyed having you all on board. Another viewer submission. This is, hello, my name is Dan Woodward. I'm from Belhaven, North Carolina. I was fishing in the Pungo River. Man, I love getting reports from the Pungo. On July 21st and come across a big school of drum. It was mixed with red drum, which had a few black drum, either telling or blended in with them. They were breaking on top of the water, and I caught one of each. And I wanted to share it here with a few photos. I've been watching your shows for many, many years, and I have enjoyed them very, very much. Dan Woodward. Thank you very much, Dan. When you started off with the Pungo, I thought you were going to talk about speckled trout. To my surprise, big drum, black and red. All right, Ramblin' Man Sport Fishing out of Morehead City said, listen to this. Had this great family go out with us today. They wanted to troll for a little bit and then bottom fish, so we accomplished both. The gentleman in the middle is 90 years young, so you have no excuse not to come with us and head offshore. Yeah. Age doesn't matter, except if you're fishing off a Johnny Mercer pier, then size matters. So, and by the way, that Wahoo weighed almost 50 pounds. They took it down to Chasing Tails and got it weighed. Another viewer submission. It says, Bill, my son, watch this. This, in 2 more weeks, another, another 5 weeks. Bill, my son, Will, caught this 25-inch flounder on a 2-ounce jig yesterday. He would love to be in your report. Well, Will, you got you a big old flounder. Congratulations for that. And keep fishing. It looks like you were somewhere in the Turning Basin, the Morehead City Turning Basin, which, by the way, is traditionally a great place for big flounder. You're fishing deep. You got to lose rigs, but you'll catch 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-pound flounders in that area. So, Will, again, congratulations. Emerald Isle Adventures out of, guess where? Emerald Isle. Stoked to get some ocean fishing in. The bite has been hot. released several groupers and flounders due to regulations, but kept plenty of sea bass up to 17 inches. Super fun summer fishing with plenty of action. That comes from Captain Roy Heverly. So congratulations to those guys. Bogue Inlet Pier, king mackerel. Take a look at these kings. Josh Williams out of Newbern with a 25-pound, 5-ounce king. And Corey Thomas and Mila Talley from Farmville, North Carolina with a 16-pound, 9-ounce king. Now, working on down south in the Sneads Ferry area, Ryan's Inshore Adventures. He says, weatherman sure dropped the ball this morning. We made it happen though, got soaked to start and pushed through to find some quality redfish. From the river to the marsh, we found fish everywhere in between. OMC Fishing Adventures, also out of Sneads Ferry, says, although the troll bites remain slow, the bottom fishing has been pretty productive. All right, now, Feel Good Fishing Charters out of Wilmington. Let me start with, they've got a lot to say. They say, yesterday we carved through Rich's Inlet to Dallas Rocks, only to be greeted by a frenzy of Atlantic sharp-nosed sharks circling like they own the place. Don't they always? Still, we reeled in some nice keeper sea bass and grunts that made the fight worthwhile. Today, which was yesterday, we hooked into some fiery red drum and a few monster flounders. Illegal to keep thanks to those pesky regulations, but what a thrill. Again, September 1st through the September 14th, the flounder season will open up. Southern Run Fishing Charters, the Bridge Tender Marina in Wilmington, was able to get out before the wind this morning and get on a couple of cobia. I don't know what those guys are doing, but they seem to be the only people catching cobia now and have been for the past week or two. So, and again, we're at that time of year where the cobia catches have waned, but they certainly have been getting it on. Now, finally, Curie Beach Pier, another king mackerel, Greg Mitchell, with his first king mackerel at 32 pounds and 2 ounces. All right, that's all the time that we have for the fishing report. I would love to hear from you. We had a lot of viewer submission. I asked for the Neuse River, Pamlico Sound area. Guys were sending in pictures. Email me, billhitchcock@mail.com, billhitchcock@mail.com. Give me some fishing report information. It doesn't matter if you are a pier, if you are a bait and tackle shop, if you are a guide, a charter boat service, if this is if you've only been out one time, or you're a seasoned ardent angler. Send us some pictures, send us some fishing report information. Let us know how you caught it. Give us some conditions. You don't have to give us your secret fishing spot. You know, I really like it when people try to blur out the background, and I understand why. I'm not making fun of you. But just give us some kind of information, some kind of context. And by the way, charter boat captains, if you want to do some kind of little how-to or show a rig or show, you know, that type of thing, you don't necessarily have to show pictures and videos of catches, although we'd love to. Any type of how-to would be great. Again, billhitchcock@mail.com. All right, that's all the time I have for you this time. I'll be back in the studio in the next show. I'm Bill Hitchcock. Until next time, see ya.